Do correct me if my biology knowledge seems to be a little bit off. Because the last time I read, I'm pretty sure that we needed food, water, and oxygen, and companionship to survive. And if biologically and objectively speaking, we don't truly need this to survive. But yet, all over the world, we have so many people day in and day out fighting and dying for this. Even more so than for food, water, oxygen, and the people around them. What gives? Cue the intro! First things first, I'd actually like to begin the video by first issuing an apology, because I think that's due. Right? I wasn't exactly aware that Instagram only allowed you to put one URL in your entire profile and all your posts. So I've done my best to fix that. You can find the link in the bio above. So go click on it. Go watch the part 1 of this entire series. Thank you very much. For those of you who want a very brief, very quick recap, here goes. So you have words which in itself have meaning. When you string words together, you get a narrative, and the narrative is what gives a story its power. And back in the days, our leaders, our wise leaders of the past, used these stories to give people a sense of commonality, And it is because of that that we were able, as a species, not only to be smart, but to also to be able to come together as a collective whole and advance our race in such a way that we essentially defied the natural order and rise to become top dogs of Mother Earth right now. The government, the money system, the financial system, the law system, the tax system, the legal system, and some of the more esoteric examples, religion, prayer, belief, morality, tradition, and things like that. Now, I do not want to deny the importance of these things. However, I want to imbibe to you the fact that many of these things, if you look closely at the roots of their history, you will find that many of these were actually created with the purpose of guiding humanity in one direction or another. And as such, it is important for the maintenance of our societal structure in today's world as a whole. Now, as with every story, there must be a storyteller of some sort. There must be a person or an entity giving out the narrative that we all so crave and believe in. And in that sense, what I want to establish is the fact that, yes, because of the nature of humans as a whole, we tend to have less than stellar examples of our own kin. With great power comes great responsibility, and with absolute power comes absolute corruption. It is in these individuals that have held so much absolute power over the stories that they tell us, that had so much control over the narrative, that they project ideas, values, and beliefs that were simply so out of touch with reality that they themselves may be living in a paradise, while the people, the proletariat, the peasants, or the normal folks were just living an entirely different reality compared to that. But however, they couldn't really do anything to see past that narrative. They couldn't do anything to change it, and even if they did, they simply didn't have the power to overthrow the folks in charge. Simply because the folks in charge understood one thing. It is that the stories that we tell ourselves have the power to shape reality. And that is the power of the stories that influence our world today. Now, whether we are conscious of it or not, we are constantly telling ourselves stories. Most of the time, they are in the form of beliefs that we hold and cherish close to our heart. The matter of the fact is that you may have heard these things, be it from your parents, your significant other, your friends, your distant family, your teachers, your students, could be anyone in general. But it may look something like this. Yeah, you should be content with what you have, you know. Don't you think you have had a lot already? You can't have everything, you know. You gotta settle. You can't have everything. Man up. Boys don't cry. Don't be such a pussy. Don't be a wuss. Girls shouldn't be bossy. You'll never find love. Girls should be obedient. You're not good enough. What am I made of? Money? Money doesn't grow on trees. Save more. Why are you pursuing your passion? It's not gonna make any money. Go to school. Get a job. Get a house. Get kids. Rinse and repeat. Be it in one way or another. Maybe those examples might have been a tad extreme. They could also be present in you in more subtle ways, but you just have to dig it up and find out for yourself. But it is with this regard that I actually invite you to take a step back, have a look at your own life history, and just ask yourself, am I trapped by one or more of these limiting beliefs? Let's take a very, very rudimentary example, you know, just for show. Somebody who contends with the belief that he or she is good enough. Scenarios such as wanting to go on a date with a stranger. The person who believes that he or she is good enough, chances are, more often than not, you see them have this sort of magnetic charisma about them, something that gives them strength, the courage to walk up to the other person and talk to them, strike up a conversation with them, and ask the other person out on a date. The other person with a negative self-image who doesn't believe that he or she is good enough, they will never ever take that step forward. And they look at the other person that they really want to approach and they ask, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? And it is from that example that you can see how any of these beliefs may affect you in your daily life. Whether you're worthy enough, you can do these things or not, whether money is a limitation for you, or any of these things like that. It all starts with the narrative that you're feeding to yourself. The narrative that you tell yourself will reprogram your subconscious mind in your daily activities. The catch here is that your subconscious mind will automatically guide you towards what your narrative tells it to go towards. And on the side, what you're projecting outwards is this sort of subconscious behavior that people can pick up on. It tells people whether they should treat you with respect or not to take you seriously at all. It sets up a precedence for your subconscious to guide you in the direction that you want to go. And more importantly, it sets yourself up for how you want your reality or the universe or how the people around you are to treat you. But when you get the hang of understanding how the stories in our minds affect our daily decisions, then you will start to really enjoy playing with them. And the phrase that I'm gonna leave you with is you can both have your cake and eat it at the same time. That is the idea that I want you to adopt. Simply because the thoughts that you have, the stories that you craft for yourself in your head, the best part about all of that is that they are free. They don't cost you any money. They don't really cost you any food, water, maybe a bit of oxygen and time. But in essence, they are free. To begin down that path of truly understanding yourself and fully rewriting the story of your life, the first thing I would like for you to do, my friend, I invite you to sit down to look at your life in retrospective. Find the patterns that may or may not have worked for you. Identify the beliefs and the stories that you've told yourself behind them. Ask yourself if those stories make sense for you. Ask yourself if they serve to help you out or if they limit you in any way, shape or form. Right? Then for the next step, I invite you to truly develop an understanding of those beliefs and where they came from. Because if you were to begin the process of rewriting your life story, you must first understand your history. Because people study history not to repeat the mistakes of the past, but rather people study history so that they could liberate themselves. Anyways, guys, I would like for you to stay tuned for later this week because there will be a part 3 that will come out. I will show you the beauty of being able to rewrite your story at any moment, at any time. Now that we are at the end of the video, for those of you on YouTube, if you like the content, there's the like button. Join the discussion, there's always the comment section down below. For you on Instagram, same thing, drop it down below. And for you, my friend, you have a good day. Peace out.